David's who buys a computer. Now, if you go to the shop today with David and buy that computer, they say the computer costs 17,000. So if you were to go and buy the computer now, it costs 17,000. But David decides to take out a loan, which is a high purchase, for 36 months. So David says, okay, I understand this thing is 17,000. I don't have 17,000. I'm going to negotiate with the people who are selling this computer. And I'm going to tell them that I'm going to pay you in 36 months. I should be done paying you. And then this is what the people are saying that they say, he pays a deposit of 10%. They say to David, David, yes, we see you. At least pays us a deposit of what? Of 10%. Now, how much did David pay? How much did David pay if he's paying 10%? He paid 1,700. 10% of 17,000. How do you get that? We're going to say we have 10 on over 100. Multiplied by 17,000. And this is going to give us what? 1,000. So this is the amount that he has paid. Because he's paying what? 10% what? Deposit. Now, if he's paying 10% deposit, the rest is going to remain as a loan. How much is going to remain as a loan? If we want to know how much is going to remain as a loan, we call it the principal amount because it's a loan. How much is going to be David's principal amount? It's going to be 17,000 minus 1,700, which is going to give us something like 15,000. So David owes 15,000. This is the principal amount. That's very important. Huh? Oh, my zeros are missing. So it's 15,300. Okay, what else do they say then? They say he pays a 10% deposit and then the interest is charged on the balance is 14% per annum simple interest. And then number one, they say what will be his monthly payments and then what will be the actual loan for the laptop. How much is actually going to pay for the laptop? So we said we're going to first say, collect the data. We have the principal amount, which is 15,000. Yes. We have our I. What is our I? It's 0.14. Everybody say it again. 0.14 is the interest. Now, guys, there is this thing that people are confusing. There is the interest rate and then there is the interest plus rate. Interest rates are, and then there's the interest in the money, the money that you actually pay for. So, they don't confuse. You see this one, the other one is a rate. It's an interest rate. The other one is a what? It's an interest. Interest rate, it's a percentage thing. Interest rate, it's a percentage. Interest is the actual amount that we actually paid. So let's move on to this one. So we have our interest rate as a decimal, it's 0.14. And then we have our L. What is going to be your L? Yes. How did you get 3 years? We said we have 36 months. If we have 36 months, we divide by 12, it's going to give us what? 3. It's going to give us what? 3. And then we can tell them our A is going to be divided by P, 1 plus IN. And then from the onwards, we can calculate the accumulated amount after 3 years. So what is going to be the accumulated amount after 3 years? It says it's 15,300. 1 plus 0.14 times 3. Okay, we get the final answer. 1,000? 21,000? 726. This is the amount that it has accumulated to the 15,000 that we have borrowed. But remember what we want, we want the monthly payments. How would you get the monthly payments? Let's call them M. We're going to call them MP. Monthly payment is going to be equaling to this 21,000. Yeah. So we have 21,726 divided by 36. And then how much are we going to pay each and every month? 603. 603.5. So this is the amount that we are going to be paying each and every month. Each and every month, when I am going to be paying how much? 600 and like that. Okay, now they say we want to know how much you are going to be paying each and every month. On top of that, we also want to know the following. We want to know the amount that you're actually going to pay. What is the total amount that you're going to be paying? And they can also ask the same thing here. They can ask what was the total interest that you have paid? What was the total interest that we actually paid? Now, what is the total amount that we actually paid for this thing? Total amount that we have paid for this thing is going to look like this. Before we started, remember, we've already paid a certain amount. How much did we pay originally? We paid 1,700. And then after that, we didn't stop there. We went on to pay 21,726. So the total amount that we have paid, which is going to be total ATA, is going to be given by 1,700 plus 21,726. And then what is the total amount that we have paid? It's 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 6. Like this. Okay, this is the total amount that we have paid. Now, how much did you pay as an interest? What was the interest that we have paid? If they ask us what was not the interest rate, the interest. What is the interest that we have paid basically? What is the interest that we have paid? Okay, let's ask ourselves, how did we get the interest? How did you get the interest? There are two ways in which you can do it. There are learners, I even seen it go on your test. There are learners who said, sir, this is the amount that we have paid. The amount that we actually paid is 23,426. And then 23,000. Yeah, this amount, we're going to tell them which 23,426. And how much did this computer cost? Minus 17,000. And then the difference is going to be what? So you are saying our interest is going to be equal to? What is our interest? 6,126. That is one way in which it can be done. Is there another way in which it could have been done? The simplest way that I prefer in a class like is this one. I always say principal amount minus the accumulated amount is going to give us the interest. I don't care about how much does that thing cost. I don't care about what is the total amount that I've paid. For me to get the interest is simple. Is the accumulated minus the one the principal. But I need to know what is the accumulated. I need to know what is the principal. Remember, this is not the accumulated amount. It's the total amount that you have paid. This is not 17,000. It's not the principal amount. Principal amount is what? It's 15,300. So if you ask me, Guti, how would I prefer you to get the interest? I will say do it this way. Say to them, for you to get the interest, you are going to say interest can be given by, this is a formula that you can use. You can tell them that for you to get the interest, it's simple. You need to know what is the accumulated amount first. And then from the accumulated amount, you're going to subtract the principal amount. Now, you need to go and look for what is the principal amount, what is the accumulated amount, period. Come and check it. Agree, remember, we've already given them names. I follow principal. Who's the principal? Principal is what? It's 15,300. I follow the accumulated. What is the accumulated? So I'm going to come here and say I have 21,726 minus the principal, which is 15,000. And then what we get is our interest? 6,000. 426. So this is the one that I prefer. When it's up to you, which how best can you do it. You can also do it with the total amount that you have paid. Subtract the actual cost of whatever item that you were buying.